All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeft TV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Kentucky Speedway. This is TurnLeft TV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. Well, the High Octane Racing League King of the Ovals Series is back in action for a little bit of a redo of the Indycar race at Kentucky. It's race number 2 of the season. And, man, I'll tell you what, that stock car race was great. Who's going to take home the victory here in the Indycars? It's the King of the Ovals Series. It's live right here on TurnLeft TV. Let's get this party started. Well, the King of the Ovals Series is in Kentucky tonight for race number 2. It's the Indycars. We got a lot of fast drivers out here. Let's get this party started. Thank you so much for coming in here to TurnLeft TV. Appreciate you being here tonight. We got a good one here for you. A little bit of a redo of the IndyCar Series race last week. And the King of the Ovals had a trouble with the pit crews, so we figured out that problem. We're going to do a redo here. About 4 minutes left in the practice session. Again, thanks for joining us here on TurnLeft TV. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator. This is a 100-lap race here tonight in this great mile-and-a-half track located in Sparta, Kentucky. Race number 2 of the King of the Ovals Series. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server for your league, no matter where you are in the world, EliteHostingUSA.com can find you a server to manage your needs for rFactor 2. Also, if you want to host your website or your online store, how about giving EliteHostingUSA.com a look? That's who hosts our website here at HighOctaneRacing.net. Join us on Discord there. The link is working. I was getting some word that the link wasn't working, so we got that fixed. Also updates on point standings there, as well as who's running what throughout the week. You know where you need to be. Come on out and join us here at HighOctaneRacing.net. We'll take a look at the track here at Kentucky Speedway. Again, a mile and a half. This one's a little flat, and I think there's a lot of room to race here. We had a caution-free race last week until we started making pit stops, and we saw there was an issue with the pit crew. If you don't use that access road, then your pit crew is not going to come out. And that's really, it's not so much a track error. It's a Studio 397 or Motorsport, whatever they are now, changed the some of the cut track stuff. And we had some issues there, so we'll have to make some adjustments on those tracks later down the road, I suspect. But a little bit of a redo tonight. Banking in the turns at 17 to 14 degrees, depending on which turns you're going into. It's a fun track, man. And it's fun in the IndyCars. Bushwhacker Series will be back in action on Friday, August the 26th for race number 2 of the season, 120 laps from Gateway Raceway. It's a great season, and we got a big race in that Bushwhacker Series season on September the 16th, the Steve Freeze 250. That'll be live right here on TurnLeft TV, 167 lap race, and we have some prizes in that race as well. Giving away some random prizes to the drivers, as we do every year, to honor our hero, Steve Freeze, who left us in 2011. High Octane Racing League guys know Steve Freeze very, very well. I know what he meant to me as a race car driver, a sim racer coming up as well. I'll be honored to do this race in his honor, his memory. Valdo coming in here and throwing down some humor for us. He said last week the mechanics refused to work. And we got that solved. We solved the impasse. And now they're going to do their jobs tonight. What a character there Givaldo is. Good luck to him tonight. He'll be driving in the 19 car. Looks like we have finished the practice session, and we're going to head on over to the qualification session. Take a look at this King of the Ovals series schedule. Now, if you don't understand what's going on here with this series, we're racing both Indy cars and stock cars. So stock cars were on August the 6th, and actually we didn't adjust that schedule there, but we are at 20 August right now. So Kentucky Speedway, and then we'll come back to IndyCar, or excuse me, stock cars the next week at Texas Motor Speedway. Following that, we'll be at Texas in the IndyCars. So we're alternating weeks. The gray is all stock car action, and the red on the schedule is IndyCar action. See if I can't fix that schedule there. There we go. Got that updated. Sorry about that. I had the old one up there. So tonight we're at Kentucky here in the Indy cars. Next week we'll be at Texas in the stock cars. And then on September the 3rd, we'll be back with the Indy cars at Texas Motor Speedway. So you can see how that alternates. Apologize for that. The technical difficulties. Take a look at Preston Hassel as he makes his qualification attempt. Right now, second on the grid for Preston. Preston now in second on the grid. We get 4 laps of qualifications here in IndyCars. Paul Brown is the top time with a 23.672. Preston Hassel showed second. Franco Alvarez up to third on the grid here in quals. 23.716 for Preston in that lap. Pretty close, pretty solid effort for him. How about Jim Willis out here in the IndyCars? Looks like he's finished up his qualification attempt. Denis Yunichin also out here with our Ukrainian drivers. He's got that TurnLeftTV logo on the wing. He's got some IndyCar experience, pretty considerable amount of IndyCar experience for Denis, 23.801 in that first lap. So currently 6th on the grid for Denis Yunichin. Alvarez shown third. Dunbar Bardo. Oh, Yunichin up to the third position. 23.748 for Yunichin. Picking up some speed here. Maybe making a run at the pole. He's only about 7/100ths of a second off. Those 2 sectors a little bit slower. He needs some blue on this one. 23.744. Maybe scrubbing off a little speed here. Looks like that may end up doing it for him. So third place run there for him. How about Claudio Bardelli Jr.? He's now shooting for it right now, shown 11th. His qualification out lap, I guess he's shown 11th because he hasn't done any laps yet. There we go. A little bit slow on this one. We go 23.797, 7th on the grid. Bardelli Jr. a little fast here. I tell you what, he's into blue. A little bit slower in that second sector. Third sector time, here we go. 23.682, second on the grid, just 1/100th of a second behind P1. He's faster in that first section. Bit slower in that second section. Here we go in the third, 23.696. Not able to chip into that. Oh, there we go. That second section is faster this time. Here we go. Does he get it? 23.655. How about that? Showing the, saving the drama. How about John Staplegun Stanley and his outlap? So we got a new pole sitter. That's Claudio Bardelli Jr. Can John Stanley chip into this? Work to do here on lap 1. Maybe got 3 more after this. 24.185 for John Stanley. Right now 12th on the grid. Got 3 more laps to put this car up further. Maybe at the top 10, maybe top 5 for John Stanley. Go there, 24.022 John Stanley. Looks like he has backed off there, decided he's going to start in the back. Probably a good place actually to start. Right, it looks like they're done qualifying and they're going to go through the driver's meeting. So thanks so much for coming out here. Let's get this party started. All right, man, we're back. I'm going to take a look at the qualifying results. Here we go. Claudio Bardelli Jr. with that run, 23.655, qualifies in P1. Paul Brown will start outside row 1. Preston Hassel inside row 2, followed by Dennis Buttigieg outside row 2. Franco Alvarez will start in 5th. Will Dunbar starts in the 6th position. Artur Vieta will start 7th. Jesus Iglesias starts in the 8th position. Gavin Jones 9th. Givaldo Spindola will start in the 10th position. Starting in the 11th spot will be Jim Willis, and John Stanley will start 12th. Don't forget the Bushwhacker Series back in action on Friday, August the 26th. Race number 2 at Gateway Raceway. 120 laps from that great track. Kudos to Paulo Chachalowski on converting that track over so we have it here in rFactor 2. I've been to Gateway many times, man. I used to live outside of St. Louis when I was stationed in the Air Force out there, and went to Gateway many times, now known as Worldwide Technology Raceway. You still know it as Gateway. 120 laps coming up in the Bushwhacker Series. A great series. We had a huge race last week, or yesterday. 23 drivers. We'll see how many we have at Gateway coming up on August 26th. It'll be live right here on TurnLeft TV. Well, here are my keys to the race here tonight. My keys to the race are pit stops on point. Listen, use the access road. If you don't use the access road, you're not going to trigger your pit crew, and you're going to be just driving through pit lane. Side-by-side racing, going to be a lot of that here. This is a wide track, so learn to use different grooves and find a groove and be able to adjust your racing as it, the situation necessitates, I should say. And also take care of your tires. If you really burn those tires off early in the run, you're not going to like the rest of your run here. So take care of those tires so you got something in the long run. The last race here we had was long green flag runs, and we had green flag pit stops. That's where we found out with the issue with the pit stalls. So you're going to have to use the access road, as we're watching Dennis Udich do that just now. If you don't do that, or even if you're too far right through the access roads, you come off there, you won't trigger your pit crew as well. Kind of a dumb thing, but that's the thing. Those are my keys to the race here tonight at Kentucky. Take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. With that first race in the books. Paul Brown with the win has the points lead. Preston Hassel second. Will Dunbar third. Franco Alvarez is fourth in points. John Stanley fifth. Jesus Iglesias actually is sixth in points. I don't know what we got there, but he's sixth. Dennis Udichin seventh. Jim Willis eighth. Givaldo Spindola is ninth, and Claudio Bardelli Jr. is 11th. Fix the point standings on that, man. Where's my arts department at? Well, we are about ready to get this party started. Don't forget stock cars next week. We'll be at Texas in the Saturday Night Thunder cars. Great Cup cars, great Cup series, and part of the King of the Ovals season this time around. And Texas coming up on September the 3rd. So we're going to hit Texas next week for the start of 2 races, 2 weeks of racing at Texas. All right, boys and girls, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Tonight, Kentucky in the Indycars. This is going to be a fun one, I think. Not a difficult track here at Indycars. It really does lend itself very, very well to the Indycar series. Starting order here tonight. Claudio Bardelli Jr. starts in P1. Paul Brown starts second. Preston Hassel starts in the third position. Starting in fourth will be Dennis Udichin. Starting in the fifth position is Franco Alvarez. Will Dunbar starts in the sixth spot. Artur Vieta seventh. Jesus Iglesias starts in the eighth position. Starting in ninth will be Gavin Jones. Jim Willis starts 10th. John Stanley starts in the 11th position. And Givaldo not making the grid there. He said did not feel well, so he is going to watch from the stands. So we definitely wish him good thoughts. Send him some positive thoughts. He's going to cheer us on from the stands here tonight. Bardelli Jr. is the pole setter, and he will lead the field to take the green flag for 100 laps here at Kentucky. It's going to be a good one, man. Hang on to your horses tonight. Race number 2 of 14 race King of the Oval series. Pace car is off. Here we go. Yeah, let's go. All right, we're off here in the IndyCars. King of the Oval series. Expect some long green flag runs. That's what I think is going to happen here as everybody sort of behaves themselves. Paul Brown has jumped out to the race lead and got around Claudio Bardelli Jr. on the start. Brown's got a lot of laps here. He's known for his stock car prowess, but he is out here to win in these Indy cars. Bardelli Jr. and Preston Hassel here battling it out. Bardelli Jr. up on the high line. Preston Hassel now going up to the high line. He's running in P3. Preston Hassel running in the third position as Bardelli Jr. is in second. On board here with Claudio Bardelli Jr. running in P2. Looking out of the back of his machine at Preston Hassel running in third. Franco Alvarez is in the fourth position. Take a look at Gavin Jones. Here he's running in seventh in this IndyCar. Did a stock car stint last night. Doing the double this weekend. A lot of these guys are really, they all raced in the stock car race, except for John. I think John was camping last night. Will Dunbar here having a good battle. Dunbar running in the eighth position. Jim Willis running in ninth. Take a look at Gavin Jones just ahead in the seventh position. We're on board here with Will Dunbar. So now Jim Willis gets by Will Dunbar. Now back to the ninth position as Jim Willis makes that pass. Take a look at his pass here as Dunbar to the outside. Look here, we'll go back and take a look at this pass. Jim Willis making that pass on the outside, taking over P8. Dennis Udichin in the 47 car. He is running in the 10th position. He's a patient driver. You know, this is a guy that you're going to probably see at the front at the end of the race. Does not panic, just gets out here and gets it done. Looking to pick up some spots. We got a battle here for P7. Look at this, Jim Willis, Gavin Jones here battling it out. Gavin Jones wanting to get by. Jim Willis had gotten by him, and Gavin Jones picks up that spot. Over the back of Gavin Jones' machine, you see Jim Willis and Will Dunbar. Good three-way battle here. P7. Gavin Jones has it. Jim Willis in P8, Will Dunbar in the ninth position. Take a look at John Stanley here running in the 11th spot. Just going to biden his time right now. 9 seconds off the race lead. Tell you what, man, we got a battle here going on between these two. Gavin Jones and Jim Willis swapping positions. These guys can't figure it out. Gavin Jones holding on to that spot. Jim Willis has to drop back to that 8th position, but he keeps pushing the envelope there. Will Dunbar is in this mix as well. He is running in P9. So Will Dunbar watching that battle there. Really good three-way battle. That's tight racing here in the IndyCar. Paul Brown is the leader. He's got just a 1.2 second lead over Claudio Bardelli Jr. Preston Hassel is in third. He inspects some long green flag runs here. Take a look at Claudio Bardelli Jr. He is in the second position. Got a good battle shaping up here between Franco Alvarez and Preston Hassel. These guys have been around each other since the drop of the green flag here 12 laps in, and we got a pretty good battle here between P3, P4. P3 is Preston Hassel. Franco Alvarez is in the fourth position. I'll tell you what, man, Preston Hassel can flat out just get anything and drive. Since coming back to rFactor 2, he's done some GT3 series racing. He's done some IndyCar racing, stock car racing, of course, and this guy just flat out gets in any car and makes it competitive. So here he is running in the third position and really having a good charge from Franco Alvarez, who is looking to try to get around. Franco going down to the bottom side here, so a good tight battle here, side by side. Franco Alvarez to the inside. He's trying to pick up P3. That outside line's pretty fast here, so Franco might have a little trouble trying to get around Preston Hassel. Side-by-side racing here for P3. Alvarez to the inside. Looks like he might end up picking up that spot. How about this? Jesus Iglesias in the zebra paint scheme. He's running in P5. Haven't talked too much about him, but he's closing in on the 4th position. We're on board here with Jesus Iglesias. Trying to tighten the gap here on P4. Close it in on Preston Hassel. He's going to the outside. Now back down to the inside. So good battle here. Preston using that outside line, holding on to that spot. Oh, Jesus got a little bit too much speed. He got into the wall. Jesus Iglesias made contact with the wall here on lap 16. Keeps the thing pointed in the right direction, but you know he's going to have some right side damage now. He was closing in on Preston Hassel. Right there, you see him make contact with the wall. He does a great job at keeping it off the inside wall, but he's going to have some right side damage now that he's going to have to get fixed. That thing is not going to handle very well for him. We're going back to live. Jesus now starting to drop time. He's going to have to come down pit lane, I think. Maybe try to slug it out here in the pit with the rest of these cars, but I tell you what, that is a hard lick there for him. We got a battle here. This is John Stanley. He's picking up a spot here. Jim Willis. I think Jim Willis might be down on the inside as John Stanley gets by. Let's see what happened here. Oh, Jim Willis going through the grass. He might have gotten into the wall as well. Take a look here. Jim Willis. He's dropped off the pace. He's back to the 11th position, and he might have made contact with the wall. Let's see what happened to Jim Willis. Kind of follow him for a little bit. I have a feeling he's going to make contact with the wall. So far, so good, but I really think the way that he came across the track, he might have scraped the wall a little bit. He's now running in the 11th position. We're showing a little bit of a replay here. Willis scrubbed off of, oh, right there. Yeah, he made contact with the wall, and he does a great job of saving the thing. He is in the grass and holding on for dear life. He loses a couple positions. Uterchin and Stanley both get by, but he keeps the car pointed in the right direction. So while these tires starting to wear out a little bit on these guys, you got to keep that car off the wall. Paul Brown is in first, 1.6 seconds over Claudio Bardelli Jr. Spread out here 23 laps in. You got to start thinking about green flag pit stops. Franco Alvarez just ran his best time of the race here on lap 23, and he is closing in on Claudio Bardelli Jr. We have got a battle here. Alvarez maybe has a little bit of a late run car. Nose to tail here between Bardelli Jr. and Franco Alvarez. That's a good, tight battle. Alvarez trying everything he can to get by, and he's going to end up overdriving this thing if he's not careful. Going to go on board here and watch the TV view of this battle. Alvarez there trying to get by. We're going to roll it up on some lap traffic here now. Bardelli Jr. running in P2. Franco Alvarez is in the third position, just behind. Trying to find a way to get around Claudio Bardelli Jr. He is closing in, and he really wants to get around. He's all but caught him. Just cannot seem to get around. Bardelli Jr. is a hard car to pass. He knows how to use all of the track. He knows how to take your line away. You look out of the back of Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s machine at Franco Alvarez. Bardelli Jr. is got a mirror full of Franco Alvarez right now. Take a look at Gavin Jones. He's running in the 7th position and about there by himself. He is looks like about almost 9 seconds off the race or behind the leader. They're having a good race here, running in P7. Looking to maybe close in on that 6th place car. We're going to have green flag pit stops here, I think, very, very soon. About this, Jesus Iglesias and Artur Vieira. We haven't talked too much about Artur Vieira here tonight. Got a big championship in the Stock Car Series, the Xfinity Series last season. And looking to maybe take home a championship here in the King of the Ovals. And now he is running in the 6th position. I think Artur Vieira is one of the most patient drivers out here on the track. He does not get rattled. I mean, he is cool as a cucumber. He will not be afraid to let those guys go, and then he reels them in for the end of the race and gains those spots back. Jesus Iglesias had gotten around. You know, we know Jesus has got a little bit of damage he's dealing with. He got around Vieira. Now Vieira now pushing back, trying to get back around Jesus Iglesias. Preston Hassel leading this trio. He is running in the 4th position. See right there as Vieira goes down to the inside. I think Vieira's going to try to get this spot back. So Artur Vieira down to the inside here. Now taking over P5. Got around Iglesias. Will Dunbar here in the 7th position. Does it look like we've got somebody coming down pit lane? Gavin Jones, I believe, is making a pit stop. Somebody's in the fence. Somebody got in the fence here, it looked like. Gavin Jones on pit lane. Somebody got off track. We got a whole slew of these guys coming down pit lane here. Iglesias is shown as the race leader. No caution flag. Iglesias now coming in. So all these guys making pit stops. Will Dunbar missing his pit stall, and he's probably not going to be able to get a pit crew here. Iglesias on pit lane. Paul Brown now back out. Alvarez, I think he had trouble getting on pit lane. Look at this, Franco Alvarez through the grass. And he missed the access road a little bit, came off track. Take a look here, Franco Alvarez, just too much speed, gets in the grass, and fortunately does not come back out on the track. And Artur Vieira has a penalty, I believe. Artur Vieira has to come back down pit lane. He's got a speeding penalty. Oh my heavens, Artur Vieira. Such a devastating penalty for him at this point. Paul Brown, the leader. Bardelli Jr. had a good pit stop. Is now just 0.8 of a second behind Paul Brown, so they're tightening that battle up. Jim Willis on pit lane. He's done his pit stop, coming back out on track. We're 39 laps in. We've been caution free, and that pit stop, those green flag pit stops were interesting, that's for sure. Paul Brown, the leader, he's got a second lead over Claudio Bardelli Jr. and Preston Hassel is in third. Alvarez really not hugely hurt from that little mistake on the access road. He is 17 seconds off the race lead, but he's shown in P4. Jesus Iglesias on pit lane. He's come down pit lane again. Interesting there for Jesus. Maybe had to make another pit stop. Well, Jesus Iglesias on pit lane here at Kentucky on lap 42. We're approaching halfway. Paul Brown is leading the field. Take a look at Iglesias as he comes back out off pit lane. Iglesias now shown in the 11th position. Jesus is just, he's one of those guys that just loves to race. Got a great sense of humor. So Paul Brown leading 1.3 second gap over Claudio Bardelli Jr. Preston Hassel is in third, so a good run for Preston Hassel here. He is actually cutting into that time, about 5.9 seconds now, so he's closing the gap a little bit. One Paul Brown. We'll have to keep our eye on Preston Hassel to the race leader.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Uh-oh, Preston Hassel spun that car, man. The car got away from him. Well, he was closing in. We were watching him. He was closing in. Now he's lost his wing. But Preston Hassel came around. Man, he was closing in on the leader. Well, Preston Hassel brings out the first caution flag here on lap 47. We'll take a look and see what happened. And thing just came around on him all of a sudden. I mean, the thing just lost grip, and right there he was a little bit low in the turn. and then backs it into the inside wall. So, wow, that was a crazy deal there. Go on board here. Watch this. He's going to turn this wheel to the right, try to catch this thing, and it's just too late. So does a great job, but ends up slamming into the inside wall. Hard lick for the 27 car. So Paul Brown is the leader. We are in our first caution flag of the night here on lap 48. A good green flag run. We had green flag pit stops, and I think maybe just some cold tires there and a little bit of a different entry into the turn. And that car broke loose. I mean, it just snapped loose in a hurry. Almost kept it off the wall. So that's interesting, man. I'll tell you, I think it was just a little bit too low of an entry through the turn, which is what caused the car to come around a little bit on it. Unfortunately, he is going to have some pretty significant damage there. He did lose the wing. We'll have to see how this shakes out for Preston Hassel as he's coming down pit lane. That's actually Paul Brown coming down pit lane. Preston, I would venture to say, is also, there he is. He's got to be very careful because he does not have a wing. Our race leader is Claudio Bardelli Jr. Well, don't forget, the Bushwhacker Series will be back in action for race number 2 of the season. What a great race we had last night. A little caution. We had 6 cautions, actually 7, but the one was caused by somebody rejoining the race. And they brought out the caution flag. 120 laps from Gateway, race number 2. It's coming up on August 26th, and I will be broadcasting that live right here on TurnLeft TV. Preston Hassel speeding on pit lane, so he's going to have to start at the tail end of the field. All right, we're getting to 1 to go. Well, Bardelli Jr. wanting to trap a bunch of cars a lap down, so it looks like Stanley, Udich, and Vieira Willis, Iglesias all do not get a wave around as the leader stayed out. So interesting there. Iglesias is the second car in line in the 11th position. So we do single file restarts here in the Indy cars. Bardelli Jr.'s on a little bit older tires here. Now, I think maybe some intensity level is going to go up here. These guys want to try to get around him in case there is another quick caution flag. Iglesias wants to get one of those laps back. Pace cars off. Here we go. Bardelli Jr. will lead the field to take the green flag to start lap 52. Back to green. We'll take a look at Gavin Jones. He's running in the 4th position. It's getting a little chippy up there. He gets by. Unichin. Oh, there's a crash there. A crash. It looked like Unichin got together. Who the other driver was. Might have been Vieira. Jim Willis, I believe. Unichin's got I knew there was going to be a quick caution flag. I just had a feeling. You bunch these guys back up again, and Unichin's got missing wing. We'll take a look and see what happened here. There was 3 wide right there. Unichin comes down. Maybe makes contact. Man, that was, those guys just got wadded up right there in turn 3. Jim Willis on board here with him. Yeah, just wadded up right there as Jim Willis into the outside wall. Hard lick for Jim Willis. See, the outside. Third car up on that outside line, and man, I tell you what, that was a hard lick for Jim Willis and Dennis Unichin. These guys got tangled up. See, that was Gavin Jones. Back of his car right there, and you see those guys just get wadded up into the outside wall. Well, now I got to be thinking that Bardelli Jr. is going to come down pit lane. I might be wrong about this, and it looks like I guess I am. Guess he would have been on the access road, but he has he's on a little bit older tires here. So it's going to be kind of curious to see how this ends up working out. Paul Brown shown in second on fresher tires. He's third in line. Iglesias is shown in the 11th position. Well, they say cautions breed cautions, and that one I don't think was one with tight racing and putting guys in awkward positions. That was just guys, maybe that 3 wide situation. Although, the car up on the high side was pretty far away. So you are getting some guys coming down pit lane here. Jim Willis trying to get caught back up. He is shown 2 laps down, probably a pretty significant amount of damage for him. Take a look, John Stanley here running in the 7th position. Now he is 1 lap down in the 7th position in his 12th car. Gavin Jones on pit lane as well. Jesus Iglesias is the front car now, it looks like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. As Claudio Bardelli Jr. has decided to pit his car, and that's going to give the race lead to Paul Brown. So Bardelli Jr. realizes that he's on a little bit older tires. He wants to get some fresh rubber on that car, get back out, and work his way back through the field. Now, you know, it's going to be interesting to see him have to work his way back through traffic to catch up to Paul Brown. Paul had a little bit faster car, although I think late in that run, Claudio was chipping into the lead a little bit. I suggest you were probably going to get their one to go this time by. I want to say thank you so much for coming out here and joining me on TurnLeft TV. Peace to everybody out there. Hit that thumbs up button. Share my videos with all your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thanks to all those folks who come out and watch the races week in, week out. Also have subscribed and support the channel. Also down in the description of this race, there's a link over to the Fanatec website. Help me out there. Hey, if you'd like to donate to TurnLeft TV, right there's the donate button, man. Click on that donate button. Help me out here at TurnLeft TV. We've got a big race coming up in the Bushwhacker Series on September the 16th. And that's going to be some prizes that'll help us pay for that Steve Freeze 250 prizes if you'd like to make a donation. Last year we gave away, what was it, a $50 gift card, 2 $25 gift cards, and a button box. Well, Paul Brown leading. Alvarez is in second. Preston Hassel is third. Dunbar fourth. Bardelli Jr. is fifth. Pace car's off. Here we go. Going back to green. We're at lap 58. Ooh, bunching up there. Paul did not really get as good a start as Alvarez did, although Alvarez checked up. Alvarez running in the second position. This guy just loves racing, man. He is a heck of a painter. I saw he sent me his car for the Bushwhacker Series, and I was astounded at how great that car was. Gavin Jones here running in the fourth spot. Preston Hassel coming down pit lane maybe to serve his penalty. Drive through. Will Dunbar also serving a penalty. It looks like Dennis Udichin might be coming down pit lane. These guys all sped on pit lane. You see Gavin Jones to the inside. Tight battle there. Gavin Jones getting around, not for position. Back up here with Paul Brown in the lead. .40 laps to go, and he is looking like he has the strongest car in the field. Alvarez now down by a second. Bardelli Jr. is in third, about a second and a half behind. And I tell you what, this battle heating up here is Bardelli Jr. working on the back of Franco Alvarez. This is for P2. Bardelli Jr. has a fast car, and now he's on fresher tires than Paul Brown. Can he get around Alvarez? We got some more lap traffic in front. Looks like actually Gavin Jones. Who is this behind him here? That is Artevieta running in P6. Weird camera angles here, man. It actually focuses, I think, more on the car that's the second in line. Depends on where you are on the track, but that leads me to believe right there that initially that it's focused on that car, Artevieta machine. Dennis Udichin is running in the 10th position. Udichin right now 3 laps down in that 47 car. This isn't a battle for the a position. Looks like Artevieta running in 6th. Vieta is 2 laps down. John Stanley, it's been a quiet night for him, and he's worked his way up to P5. Just ahead of him is Jesus Iglesias. Jesus in the 7th position, 4th place car just ahead of him, and that 4th place car is Gavin Jones. Gavin Jones having a good night, one of our new drivers. Likes those stock cars, but showing that he's got some high racing IQ out here in the Indycars. Jesus going to try to get around Gavin Jones. If I was Gavin Jones, I'd just let Jesus go. Not for position, no sense in racing him hard. That also holds true for Artevieta. Vieta is not on the lead lap. 2 laps down, no sense in racing Artevieta hard either. Gavin Jones, the middle car of this 3. And Jesus has gotten by. Now Artevieta looking to get by. Gavin Jones now going down to the inside. Vieta wanting to get by. And this is where I would say just go. You know, you got a faster car than me. I don't want to use my stuff up racing a lap down car. Get to the inside. Taking a peek. Not able to get around. Now looking up on the outside. Gavin Jones tucking down below that yellow line. Got to be careful there. Again, he looks like he's racing quite hard. This lap down car. Gavin Jones running in 4th. Vieta is in 6th. Take a look at John Stanley here running in the 5th position. He was 1 lap down. Quiet night here for John. He started in the back and has just, he made a little contact with the wall there. Started in the back and has just methodically worked his way up through the field. It has a good top 5 run going here on lap 71. These laps click off in a hurry here at at Kentucky in the IndyCars. Take a look at Paul Brown with the big lead, 2.6 seconds over Franco Alvarez. Alvarez just ahead of Bardelli Jr. That's a tight battle there. Just about 0.3 of a second separate P2 and P3. The lights are out here at Kentucky. The lights are on. The sun is down, I should say. Take a look at Jim Willis. He's had a tough night. Got into the wall earlier, but right now running in the 9th position. We've got a whole slew of cars. We got about 4 cars, 2 laps down. It'd be nice to get those guys together there so they can race it out. Hard to get a lap back in the IndyCar series since there is no lucky dog. He is running in the 9th position. Running in P8 is Will Dunbar at 92 car, I believe that is. '98 car, take that back. Running in P8, 2 laps down. Jesus Iglesias running in the 7th position in the 2 car. He's also 2 laps down. He is the first car. He's just behind Vieta, I believe. Vieta is 2 laps down. The first car 2 laps down. He's running in P6. Paul Brown is in control. 77 car looking to, hey, look at that. We're on lap 77 as well. Looking to make it 2 in a row in the Indy cars. Excuse me, I guess that'd be 2 wins in a row. He got to win in the stock cars, and now he wants to win in these Indy cars. A little confused because we raced these Indy cars last week. We had a trouble with the Kentucky with pitting. And, thanks to all those guys that stayed and helped us test that out and get it figured out. Paul Brown cruising 2.8 seconds up on Alvarez. Alvarez has opened up a gap on Bardelli Jr., but we've got a battle between Bardelli Jr. and Gavin Jones, it looks like. Maybe Bardelli Jr. has come down pit lane. He is on pit lane, so Bardelli Jr. making a pit stop. Interesting. Maybe a little strategy out of Bardelli Jr. Little strategy maybe. KG veteran on pit lane. So Bardelli Jr. getting some fuel, maybe some right side tires on this thing. Gavin Jones now in 3rd as Bardelli Jr. coming back out on track, making a green flag pit stop. That opens up the question. Do the rest of these guys have to come down pit lane? Gavin Jones, good run here for him. That's a good 3rd place run here so far. I think Paul Brown's come off track to come down pit lane as well. So Paul Brown, the race leader, using that access road. Come down pit lane. Here on lap 82, so we are seeing green flag pit stops. The race leader giving up the race lead. Now we go to Franco Alvarez. Alvarez on pit lane. Or Alvarez is the lead in the field. I take that back. Kind of doing 2 things at once here. Paul Brown, quick pit stop for his as Franco Alvarez leading the field. Franco wants to see a caution flag now. He's got a lap on everybody. Somebody has some trouble coming off pit lane and spins. Alvarez is in the catbird seat. So Franco Alvarez is our leader. He's got a 1 lap lead over everybody as Paul Brown comes back out on track. The only question is now, when does Alvarez have to pit? Paul Brown now back in the 3rd position. Don Stanley shown in 2nd. Well, Alvarez the leader. Stanley 2nd, Brown 3rd, Bardelli Jr. 4th, Vieta is in 5th. Take a look at Artur Vieta, good top 5 run for Artur. He might end up picking up another position. I think Alvarez is going to have to come down pit lane. I just can't imagine him being able to make it the rest of the way, and there he goes. Alvarez on the access road to make a pit stop. Got to be on point here. Don't speed. Get that limiter going and maintain that speed. As Franco Alvarez had the field down a lap, but he has got to make a pit stop. So the 83 on pit lane. John Stanley shown in second, so he will, I think, be the race leader. Alvarez finishing up that pit stop, coming back out on track. Is John Stanley, is he going to be able to swing by and get the race lead? So John Stanley now to the race lead. We got a mess going on right there. We have got a mess. Stanley the leader. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? This would be a huge victory for John Stanley. Started in the back, has worked his way up, now leading the field. He's coming down pit lane, so that answers that question, doesn't it? With the 12 car making a pit stop. Whoa, almost gets into the grass. That's going to give the lead back to Franco Alvarez. Interesting strategy. Now Paul Brown finds himself 2.5 seconds behind Franco Alvarez. Alvarez made the pit stop. He may have just done fuel. Paul Brown has got 11 laps to try to run down Franco Alvarez. It's a 2.5 second gap between the two of them. Paul Brown is having a battle with Bardelli Jr. as well, so they're close together. Bardelli Jr. running in P3. Just out in the front of his machine is Paul Brown. These guys now trying to close in on the race leader, but I don't know if they have enough time. Franco Alvarez might have snookered these guys. 2.3 second gap. 9 laps to go, 10 laps to go. Dennis Hudichin on pit lane. Great battle here as Paul Brown and Claudio Bardelli Jr. has gotten by Paul Brown. So Bardelli Jr. to second place. Paul Brown now back to third. These guys start racing each other. That's exactly what Franco Alvarez wants to see. They're still close to the gap, 2.2 seconds, but time's running out for these guys. Got a little bit of a draft they're working with, but they're also racing each other. 2.1 second gap. Bardelli Jr. now to second. Paul Brown is in third. Franco Alvarez is leading. 2 second gap now. Franco Alvarez, if he has any trouble with lap traffic, that could be a game changer. Definitely doesn't want to see a caution flag, that's for certain. We've had 2 cautions. One after green flag pit stops and then a quick one after that. Look at this, he's having some trouble getting around. Little bit of trouble getting around the lap traffic of Gavin Jones. Franco Alvarez drifted up high. He's wanting to get around and put this lap car down. Gavin Jones wanting to stay on the lead lap. That is fair game. He's not a lap down. He's at the tail end of the lead lap. So Franco Alvarez having a little trouble here. 1.2 second gap. Things are getting busy here for Franco Alvarez. Jim Willis has a penalty. He's going to have to come back down pit lane. Franco Alvarez not able to get around Gavin Jones. 5 laps to go. Can he keep enough gap between he and Claudio Bardelli Jr.? Bardelli Jr. has opened up a gap on Paul Brown. Bardelli Jr. closing in. It's a second. It separates the two of these guys now. Alvarez wants to get around Gavin Jones. He's pushing the issue here with Gavin. He can't get around. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is on the move. Closing in. Less than a second now separate the two. 0.7 of a second. Across the start-finish line, we'll have 3 to go. Franco Alvarez is the leader. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is in second. Bardelli Jr. closing in. He's got to get around Gavin Jones. Not able to do it. Here we go. Claudio Bardelli Jr. all over the back of Franco Alvarez. Claudio Bardelli Jr. Oh, he gets into the back of Alvarez. Alvarez holds on to that thing. Alvarez trying to hold on for the race victory. We got 2 to go. Franco Alvarez, can he hold off Claudio Bardelli Jr.? Bardelli Jr. might have damaged his wing. He got into the back of Alvarez. 1 to go. Here we go. Franco Alvarez, can he hold on? Claudio Bardelli Jr. all over the back of him right now. Down the backstretch. Bardelli Jr. to the outside. Look at this battle here for the win. Bardelli Jr. to the inside. Bardelli Jr. slips ahead of Franco Alvarez, and Bardelli Jr. is going to steal this one from Franco Alvarez. Oh, my God. What a race for the victory. Holy smokes. Claudio Bardelli Jr. getting the victory. How about that? That was a race. So congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. on the victory. He got a little bit into Alvarez, but man, he had closed the gap and was able to take the victory. So congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. on getting the win here at Kentucky. I don't know what we got here with the sounds, but since they've updated this this game, congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. My heavens. That was a race. Franco Alvarez finishes in the second position. Archivieta there has a pretty decent run. We'll see if we can't get Bardelli Jr. in the up here in victory lane with us. That was pretty amazing. Claudio Bardelli Jr. gets the win. I don't know why the server already reset, but it did. So we'll not get to see the final results. Pretty amazing race there, that's for sure. So Claudio Bardelli Jr. gets the win. Congratulations to him. We'll see if we can't get Claudio up in the booth with us. In the booth here. Congratulations, Claudio, on getting the victory. That was an exciting finish to the race.
Oh, thank you. That was very close. Thank you, Rich.
Well, anytime you're racing Franco Alvarez and you're able to get by him, you know you're doing something because Franco's got a lot of talent. After the pit stops, it looked like you and Paul Brown were racing pretty hard. Did you think you had a chance of being able to close in and get by Franco Alvarez?
I tried to change the strategy in the yellow flag, but I believe it's don't as the better strategy. I try to change entering pits in lap 55, I believe, and try anticipate the pitting in the last. But Franco is very fast in the pitting. I believe he don't pass him. If he's in the Gavin to close the door to Franco, but it's final. It's very close. It's very exciting. I'm very happy. I agradeço. Caraca, como que eu agradeço?
Hey, Feliz Aniversario, right?
I appreciate the Franco. Sorry for touching the 2 laps to go.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You're 29 again, right?
29 again.
Yeah, congratulations, man. We always appreciate your support here on TurnLeft TV. I love watching your racing on your YouTube channel as well, and thanks for supporting High Octane Racing League. Enjoy this victory. Next week you have Texas in the stock cars. Good luck there.
Thank you, guy. Thank you.
So Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s birthday. Jesus is saying today's his birthday or anniversary. So happy birthday to Claudio Bardelli Jr. and getting the win. That guy can flat out drive anything, man. He does a lot of racing, a lot of different race sims as well. So pretty impressive that run to get a hold of the back end of that Feliz Franco Alvarez machine, and was able to come away with the victory. So congratulations to him. Well, that was an exciting race, that's for sure, man. I really appreciate you guys coming out and watching this. Congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. Happy birthday to one of my best sim racing buddies. Claudio is a really cool dude, and always appreciate him coming out. That guy he's here every week, man, and he's a great guy. He sets a high mark for guys to try to achieve. This guy is a great race car driver. And I'll tell you, I've not seen too many race car drivers be able to do what he just did tonight in this IndyCars, be able to, race Paul Brown, who is at the top of the game, and whatever he gets in whatever car he's driving, and he was able to get around Paul Brown, but then had about 5-second gap or so that he tried to close in and run down Franco Alvarez, and was able to get around him. It was just incredible. He got into the back of Franco a little bit, maybe rattled Franco, but he definitely had a faster car. And he got around, and there was some great racing there between a couple of our South American drivers. So congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. Thanks to all those guys for coming in and joining us in the chat session. Claudio and Givaldo and Jesus all in the chat session, and all the folks that come out and watch these races here on TurnLeft TV. That's going to do it for us tonight. Peace to everybody out there. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday in the Bushwhacker Series at Gateway Raceway. We'll talk to you later, boys and girls. I am out of here.